Hello everyone. Welcome to the Strimzi Community Call on 14th of November. And yeah, first point on the agenda is PRs and issues. I added one PR, which is here for a couple of weeks, and it's about fixing the build process from Federico. We had a discussion around that on the last community call. And I asked other maintainers to have a look at that. And it seems that there are 3 -1 votes against the PR and then 2 +1 votes for merging the PR. So how do we proceed with this one?
So I'm kind of confused now because I don't know the other opinions. I mean, yes, we have 3 -1, we have 2 +1, but if these 2 +1 people, and one of them is me, if they approved the PR instead of voting +1, I guess that we were going to just merge, right? Because we reached the number of people to merging a PR. If we leave as it is, so counting the votes, we should not merge it because we have 3 people against and 2 other people +1. So to be honest, I'm not sure how to handle this situation. Because if me and Maros are going to approve, we can just merge it, right?
Yeah, but I guess that's not how democracy
I
works.
think the majority should be like 3 votes. I think that should be the main.
Sorry, Maros, I lost your first sentence.
I think the majority should have +2 be like merged with PR. So in this case, it would be like 3 +1s, not, I think, 2. I know that the logic, what you mentioned, like only +2 will eventually leading to approve it, but I think we need at least one more.
So I don't remember what is in our governance for merging PR. So I'm not sure. So as I said, if me and you, instead of voting, we're going just to approve, so it was going to be merged. I know it's not democracy. I can understand that we have -1, etc. I don't know what the other things. I see Tom on the call, or who are the others? Paul.
Sorry, I missed the question. I didn't have any sound for a minute.
Yeah, no, we were thinking about how to deal with this PR where no maintainers actually approved the PR. So technically, providing the green check on the PR itself, which would be enough to merge the PR if you have 2 maintainers approving. Yes. On the other side, Lukasz asked the maintainers' opinions, and in the comments, so not using let me say, the official approving process in a PR, we just voted with the -1 and +1. And there are 2 +1 and 3 -1. So from this point of view, we should just reject and close the PR. But I'm not sure if we are following the flow and the governance, because if the 2 +1, so me and Maros, are going to approve, this PR could be approved and merged, right? Even if in the comments there are 3 -1. So I'm not saying that we should do this way. I am just asking, we created a kind of a situation where we are, I don't know, stuck. So on one side, I would follow the democracy because this is what I like, because this is how the community should work. On the other side, are we kind of breaking the governance? Are we not following the governance on the PRs?
So in terms of the governance rules for this repo, it's PR approval rules. I think it's this repo. This is just like Yes, it's just a normal repo. So PRs against those repositories may be merged after receiving at least 2 positive maintainer votes. That's it. So this can be merged now. Obviously, it's up to you, Paolo, if you want to withdraw your +1 because you want to sort of follow the majority, then that's up to you, in which case I guess it's not going to get merged. But you'd be perfectly entitled to hit the merge button.
Okay. So now in the end, it's on me and Maros to decide if we want to approve, because if we both approve the PR, it will be merged, or not approve, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think you should. I think you should merge it because you've both decided +1. I don't think you should necessarily just change your mind because other people don't agree with that. You've come to that view, so just hit the merge button.
Yeah. So on my side, I'm going to approve the PR. I don't know what Maros will do if we don't reach the 2 green check, then we will close the PR. So on my side, after the goal, I'm going to approve the PR then.
Cool. Maybe because it's also something for the documentation. Paul, can you have a look at this?
Yes, for sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm just thinking we probably don't have many of these controversial PRs anyway, do we? So yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
Perfect. Thanks. Okay, so are there any other PRs or issues someone would like to discuss? Seems like not. So I added one proposal, which I mentioned also last time, and it's about the monitoring of the custom resources. There are 4 approvers at the moment, so maybe if Jakub, Maros, and Paul could have a look at this, it would be great to have it merged. So that's everything to the proposals. Is there any other proposals someone would like to discuss? Okay, so that was fast. Let's move to the issue triage then. Okay, so the first one is for the test container repository, and Maros created issue about adding some precondition to each test case about running containers. So I don't know, I guess this makes sense, or?
Yeah, this was just created because I faced issue when we hit memory quota or memory limits, and therefore I create this issue for it. I think that makes sense because I think I created the one issue PR which solved somehow, but I didn't, I think, cover whole repository, so it should be implemented there.
Okay. So is it something like good first issue, or do you want to have help wanted there?
It's good for issue. It's easy, I think.
Okay, so another one is from the Strimzi operators repository, and yeah, it's about issue with redeploying the Strimzi Helm chart. User is facing some issues with the role bindings that already exist. So yeah, we with Jakub and Kate had some comments to this, but yeah, we are still missing some kind of an input, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say, yeah, I had a quick look at the thread, obviously added my comment, and there is like an existing, I guess, issue or like limitation that's listed in the Helm chart that says if you specify a release namespace, a watch namespaces that matches the release namespace, then it will fail due to duplicate role bindings. So my suspicion is that that's what they're hitting, and that the role binding isn't there before they try to run the command, and it's failing because it's trying to lay it down twice. But yeah, I think we need to see what the user comes back with, because we kind of need them to double check that when they do the uninstall, the role bindings really aren't there, and it's not just, they're not just basing it off of that error message when trying to install.
So I guess we can just ping the user
Yeah.
and see if it's really the issue. So like this.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Okay, so let's keep the needs triage for the next time. And let's move to another issue from the operators repo, where the user is facing some issue with that the Kafka user's new certificate isn't recreated, let's say, after the Kafka cluster is destroyed and redeployed. And yeah, we asked the user together with Jakub to get some more logs and yeah, CRs, but we didn't get any response. So I think that we can just again ping the user and see if they will add some more logs to the next time. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, it's just 1 week.
Okay, so keeping the needs trash again. Now, this issue is enhancement from Michael about support single-step multi-version downgrade for Zookeeper-based clusters. And he already created a PR, but as Jakub and Fede mentioned in the comments, it should have some kind of proposal to mention everything. So yeah, I think that we can just ping Michael to if he is able to provide a proposal. But I'm not sure what to do with the actual PR, if we should just move it to draft for now.
I will just ping the user for now. Let's keep the PR as it is. I guess if he's keen to work on a proposal, in the end, it will be him to close the PR. So
Yeah, okay. So like this.
yep.
Okay, so let me remove the needs trash and add the needs proposal. Okay. Now, another issue from the test container repository, and yeah, it's about adding some kind of possibility to change the logging for the iOS Strimzi components, I guess. So I think that this makes sense, or Marosh?
Yes.
what would be useful would be to also be able to set a package rather than enable all like tracing on all of Strimzi. And I don't know if others agree, but
So like this, Maros, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense to also make it like more granular to use package.
Okay, thanks. And another one for the test containers, but I guess this is already implemented, or Maros?
Not exactly. It's partially because I have added there on the test container images side, it's already implemented because we have inside images the OAuth libs. But on the test container side, we have only authentication, and there is no like authorization. User cannot just use builder when he just wrote with authorization. It will automatically configure Strimzi authorizer. So authorization should be implemented because only authentication works now.
So like this?
Yep.
Do you want to add some help wanted or something? Or you are already working on this?
I think it's kind of, I think, maybe more complicated than it seems.
Okay. Fine. So another one for Maros. And it's about adding support for clients to the test container repo and images. And I think that you mentioned using the test clients we have.
Yeah, but
But
that was kind of tricky. I think Jakob also wrote me offline that it would create a cyclic dependency.
yeah, that's what I
So
wanted to mention.
yeah, therefore I was like thinking about it, and then I somehow figured out that we potentially can just use the scripts inside our test container images. So we just would create wrappers classes and yeah, just execute the shell scripts. For instance, at least we can start with the console producer and the consumer. And I think it will work with any problems. I think also Mikhail wanted to have these clients so he can test the metrics reporter, I think. So
yeah, you might want to collect all the requirements for people wanting to do that. I assume Marco may be also interested to do that for testing the auth plugin.
yeah. And it would be also great because you would just spawn these containers within the Docker network. So everything regarding the OAuth would be like solved, like OAuth URI, which has to be the same DNS when you are issuing, etc.
Yeah, so from my use case, being able to run the console clients is enough, but yeah, I don't know if it's enough with the other projects.
I think that we will see if it will be sufficient. As in the operators STs, we started with the scripts as well, and then we moved to having our own clients to have it
And
somehow.
I didn't remember like what is the main limitation of these console producers? Didn't they have like what?
Like we had issues with them because of some kind of configuration. Like with our own clients, we can configure it in our own way. And also
Yeah.
there was some issue with the names of the users that we should specify. That was needed to our weird username tests, let's say.
Yeah.
So that were the main limitations. But I guess in case of the integration tests and other stuff, the scripts should be enough.
Yeah. Hope so.
Well,
Yeah.
that's strange because you should be able to pass any configuration to the console clients. I mean, you can provide there are flags to specify some settings, but you can also provide a file that supports all the client configurations. I think one of the main limitation is that the logic of the client. I mean, the producer, you cannot make it send an arbitrary message the way you want, at the pace you want. You provide like a type of payload, and you will just run that payload at a fixed rate. And I mean, same for the consumer. You will just consume as fast as possible. You cannot really make it pause or do stuff. But otherwise, configuration-wise, you should be able to provide anything you want.
Yeah, it's like 3 years, so maybe something has changed. And also we wanted to have some better way how to monitor the jobs, let's say, that we are using in our system tests. So that's why we moved to having our own test clients. But yeah, as I mentioned, it's like 3 years, so I don't really remember what were the issues back then. So, but anyway, I think that we can proceed with the producer consumer scripts in the test containers. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to help if you need any help with that.
Perfect. Thanks. So like this.
Looks good.
Right.
So yeah, let's start with the console producer consumer, but I think being able to run also mirror maker or streams would be useful as well.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is about adding support for HTTPS to the metrics reporter. And I think that you had with Jakub some discussion around it, Mikhail. So
Yeah, clearly Jakob is not keen on it. I mean, to me, it seems like a relatively straightforward feature and implementation, but Jakob doesn't like it. It's probably best to discuss it when he's around.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So let's leave it for the next time, I guess.
I don't know if others have views on whether we should support HTTPS. To me, it seems like something any users would expect. Make us. It's also supported now in JMX Exporter. So even though Strimzi doesn't use HTTPS, it's kind of like a tick box like on the requirements people expect on anything that starts in an HTTP server.
So I'm going to to read more the issue because I lost that. My question is because the metrics reporter can be also used outside of streams, right? So it can be used with the Kafka itself. In the Kafka community, do you see demand about having the metrics endpoint reachable via HTTPS?
Yeah, I don't see demand for metrics reporter precisely, but what I see is that Kafka is adopted in many regulated industries. And in these industries, all communication have to be secured and encrypted. So if you're working with a bank or federal agency or healthcare, all their communication have to be encrypted. That's a requirement for them to satisfy certification legislations. So Jakob seems to say that, it would be kind of nice to have, but it's hard to put in place. And he basically saying not having it wouldn't block adoption.
Yeah. So
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, at this point, it's a bit like, chicken and egg. It's like, I mean, there's still no adoption. I mean, we had version 0.1 or 0.2. I know it's like, it's not used by Strimzi yet. I mean, we've not communicated around it. There's not been an announcement. So it's like, we don't have thousands of people asking for it. Will we ever have thousands of people asking for it? I doubt it. But to me, it seems like it's, if people want to adopt it, it's the kind of thing they will check. Does it support? Can I use it in my secure environment or regulated environment? And there's no GPS support, or I can't use it. But basically, one of his points is, are people asking for it? But I mean, nobody's asking for anything. So
The thing
Sounds like
is,
a higher priority should be a blog post that at least announces it to the world.
I think
Because you're not going to get any sort of feedback either way about HTTPS if nobody knows about it.
so. I think the blog post is kind of waiting on adding support to Strimzi at the moment. I don't know if you want to publish a blog post to say, well, it's in Strimzi, but you can't you can't use you can't easily use it with the operator. We have to do some sort of tricks. So I don't know. Maybe it's up to Strimzi maintainer. What's the best way to announce it? Because it's also usable without Strimzi, and I think we want also to make that clear. Just that.
Right. So that sounds like that's something that you could announce itself, and then you could have a second blog post when it's been adopted into Strimzi and is available for monitoring Kafka within Strimzi. But why not do both?
Yeah, I'm on the same page, even because in your blog post, you can say that there is the plan for integration within Strimzi, so it's coming soon. And anyway, we had blog posts on Strimzi blog, even not just about Strimzi, but stuff which works out of the box with Kafka itself, or explanation about Kafka internals and things like that. So if the metrics reporter works out of Strimzi, I would agree with Tom having a blog post and then announcing that we are working on integration within Strimzi. And at the same time, my thinking was because so here we are talking about adding HTTPS in the metrics reporter, but having that support in the metrics reporter for people using it with Kafka, not Strimzi, and having the support and the usage of this HTTPS in Strimzi are two different stories. So I guess that you can have the HTTPS support in the metrics reporter, and then we make the decision to not use it in Strimzi, but at least you have that for people using the metrics reporter in Kafka.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the listener configuration. So Strimzi will hard code it, but people can. It's an option you have on the reporter if you use it out of Strimzi to set it to whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I guess this point is maybe about the schedule or the priorities.
Well, from a priority point of view, yeah, actually, I don't see this as a really high priority. So if you have some, I don't know, free space on your table, but I don't think so, maybe you can work on that. Otherwise, I don't see it as a really high priority. But I'm not against it, so I'm going to comment to say that it will be fine for me having this support.
I think the current priority is reconfiguration and more testing.
Yeah.
So those are the two things. But I thought we could squeeze this in as well in the 0.2 release. But we don't have to squeeze it. We can. No, 0.2 could just have reconfigurability and come with a blog post.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can add that in 0.3 or.
And after the reconfigurability, then I think that we are ready for integrating it in Strimzi, right?
I think you could probably integrate it to Strimzi right now, and then once we add support for reconfigurability, add that into Strimzi. Obviously, you probably want to take into account that it will be reconfigurable soon in Strimzi, but I don't think it should. Well, maybe I don't know if Federico's on the call because he's kind of driving this work, but I don't think it's blocking the implementation in Strimzi. But it's probably something you won't take into account, but this, making it reconfigurable.
Yeah.
Okay, so
As far as I'm aware, the implementation is ongoing and they're not blocked.
okay, so do you want to leave it as needs triage for the next time and just write a comment that it's not the top priority right now, and that we should have some kind of a blog post and see if community wants it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we should leave this open for for discussing even with Giacomo next time. And yeah, the blog post is something, let's say, so unrelated to this, right? So not sure we should mention in the issue.
I mean, I'm convinced we should add HTTPS support. What I can kind of discuss is whether what is a priority basically, or when to do it.
Yeah.
But I guess also a kind of a larger issue is how do we decide on the roadmap of this component? So I've been opening tickets of things like if you scroll back one item, one comment up, I think I kind of highlight the roadmap I have in mind. But I've made this up myself, and I'm not a Strimzi maintainer. So I don't know how would you decide on the roadmap of a component?
So you want to discuss the roadmap right now, or?
Well, I don't have to discuss the roadmap right now, but if you have like tips or thoughts on how to build a roadmap, or if you yourself have opinion on what the roadmap should be, that would help in prioritizing the items, or because I'm making up the roadmap as I go, but I don't know if the Strimzi maintainers agree with this roadmap. Clearly, Jakob does not agree with my roadmap.
Well, I guess so. You are the component owner, right? So you have your roadmap in mind. You are the expert on this component. So I guess that you should be kind of leading the roadmap on this, and then the others as maintainers can chime in and making comments like Jakub or me later, yeah, to say their opinions. But I would say that the roadmap could be on you on this because you are the expert and the owner of the component. So you are the best to know what should be the best things to implement for this component, unless we have some ideas and we can share with you at some point.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, Mikhail, you've got more than enough experience to decide what you think is important and to implement it. I think all Jakub's saying is that, look, the rest of Strimzi doesn't support TLS on metrics, and nobody's really sort of complained so far. So, that's some kind of data to suggest that maybe people don't see that as being particularly important. But, if you think that it might be important for users of this, then I think that's enough reason to do it. It's just a question of prioritizing that against everything else. And again, you're probably in the best situation to decide that.
To be honest, I'm kind of baffled that we've not been asked to encrypt all links, regardless of there's no exceptions. Every connection has to be encrypted. But it seems like we've not been forced by. I would expect like to be common practice. But I mean, my point on the roadmap is that I think I think I got a good view of what needs to be done, but obviously you need a reviewer and the maintainer to approve APIs. So you got to be got to be got to agree on what needs to be done. For example, if I was to implement this, would Jakub review it or not?
Well, it's the maintainer's job to review things. So if you were to open the PR, then I'd expect a maintainer, somebody, to review it.
Like, could they put like -1 like on the PR?
I think.
I mean, here we.
I think that would be sad if that happened.
Yeah, so could you please have a look on the roadmap so we can maybe go through it?
Yeah, so I guess maintainer look at the comment above, and if you see if you think there are other things that should be important to add or.
Sorry, I missed it. Do you want to have a look at it offline, or do you want to go through it now?
I think you can go offline. I mean, I don't want to block your time now.
Okay, so maybe we should go through it offline and then discuss it on the next community call as well. Does it make sense?
Yeah, or on Slack, if you have questions, just.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool. So yeah, let's leave the needs triage there and we can discuss it next time. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, another issue is for test containers and is about some default value of the configuration that was before 0 and now is set to some different value. And I think that you had some discussion with Jakub and Mike Maros, right?
Yes. So eventually we decided to not change it to 0, I think. As also Mike pointed out that there is no objections from him to stick with the defaults. Okay. So he just, I think, created PR on his repo where he just override it with the value which he wants.
Oh, okay.
I think we can close this issue.
So like this.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. Another one is for the operators repo, and it's about, I guess, to repeat the adding auto rebalance at brokers when it fails, as it is done in the remove brokers. Yeah, and Paolo already commented it. So
Well, they are totally different. It's not that in the remove brokers it's done and it's not done in the add brokers, because in the remove brokers operation, the brokers are kind of blocked, right? So you are asking to scale down, but if they are hosting partition, they are not scaling down. And so until, of course, the rebalance leaves this broker free, on the next reconciliation, the automatic rebalance start again, because they are still busy and you cannot scale down. So it's not a kind of built-in mechanism. It's just the way it works in the scaling down when we block the brokers busy. With the ad brokers, it was intentionally done this way because it's really complex to have a status around that, as mentioned by me and Jakub. So even in the proposal, we decided that we can just leave to the user to deal with it when it happens. So for me, we should just close it.
like this.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks. So, yeah. Yeah. There are last two issues. So the first one is about passing username as a secret in the Kafka client authentication plane. And yeah, Jakub mentioned that it's fine to have it, but it needs proposal. And if the user is willing to contribute to it, it should be fine. So I think that we can just ping the user if he's willing to write a proposal or work on it, right? And we can keep it.
Yeah.
So like this.
Yep.
Okay. And do we want to add the help wanted there? I guess.
Well, in the end, yes, we are looking for someone else to work on this.
Okay. And the last one is again for the test container repository, and it's about fetching the Kafka version also from the custom images. I think that currently you are fetching the Kafka version from the name of the image, right, Maros?
Yes. So I think that PR, which is at control listen to advertise listeners, there I introduced a mechanism where we extract the versions from our image, but now if I don't know, like user will wants to use his custom image, then I think it will eventually fail. So we should just deal with it and somehow implement it also for customs. But I think that's more complex than it seems to be. And I didn't like have any approach how to tackle this problem, because now in 390 Kafka, you have to also specify control listener to advertise listeners. And if you go lower to 3.8, so you don't need to. So I had to somehow condition this way. And this was only one approach. So I think I should think about how I should solve that.
Okay, so let me remove the needs triage, but I will keep it without any other help wanted or something. Okay, and that seems to be everything from the issue triage. Is there any other business? Okay, seems like not. So thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you, folks.
Thanks very
Thanks,
much.
Lukasz.
Bye
Thank
all.
you. Bye.
Thanks, Lukasz. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.